Hi, and welcome to our next lesson on solving equations with unknowns on both sides. And this one is slightly harder because I'm going to look at when you've got negative values in front of the x's and y's. Okay, just to first of all a recap of what you did last lesson on solving equations. So, if you had this, remember we've got like a balance and we want to take away y's from both sides. So I'm going to take away y from here and take away y from here. So I'm going to close the doors, keep out the sound of my children. Okay, so take away y from both sides. So here I'll have 3y plus 6 equals, they all cancel out and I'll have 15. Now what should I do to both sides? Now I'm going to take away 6 from both sides because plus 6 minus 6 will cancel each other out. So I'll just have 3y here equals 9. 15 take away 6. Now the opposite of timesing by 3 is to divide by 3. So 1y equals 3, and that's my answer. Okay, just try this one just to do a recap from yesterday's work, just to make sure you can do when there's positive numbers in front of the y's. Okay, pause the video and have a go, and then listen to my solution. Right, so we're going to take away 2y from both sides. The reason we take away 2y is that 2y and minus 2y will cancel. So 5y take away 2y is 3y. I've still got 10 left, equals 16. Now the opposite of adding 10 is to take away 10 from both sides. So this will cancel. And I've got 3y equals 6. Now divide both sides by 3, so 1y equals 2. Remember, you can check this by putting it back into the equation like I showed you last lesson. Okay, so that's a recap of solving equations with unknowns on both sides. Right, what about if you had something like this? Minus y equals negative 10. Negative y equals negative 10. Well, you can think of this as a negative 1y here. Okay? Now, the opposite of this is timesing by negative 1y. The opposite of timesing by negative 1 is to divide by negative 1. So I divide both sides by negative 1. So these will cancel and I'm just left with y. Negative 10 divided by negative 1. Negative divided by negative is positive. And I'm just left with 10. So y equals 10. Okay, what about this one? Right, so what's the opposite of timesing by negative 4? Well, the opposite of timesing by negative 4 is to divide by negative 4. These will cancel, so I've got y equals 16 divided by negative 4. Remember, this sign just means divide. So 16 divided by 4 is 4. A positive divided by a negative is a negative. So y equals negative 4. Remember, positive divided by negative is negative. Negative divided by negative is positive. This keeps on cropping up, doesn't it? All of this work on subtracting and adding numbers. Okay, let's try one more. Right, what should I do first? Well, I'm going to get rid of this 2. How do I get rid of the add 2? I take away 2 from both sides. So minus 3y equals 7. So now the opposite of timesing by negative 3 is to divide by negative 3. These will cancel, So y equals negative 7 over 3. Now, 3 doesn't go into 7 exactly, so I can just leave it as a top-heavy fraction. That is absolutely fine in maths. Okay, let's look at another question then. What about this one here? Right, so what shall we do to both sides of the equation? Right, well, the opposite of taking away y is to add y. So I'm going to add y to this side and add y to this side. So 14, these will cancel, equals 2y plus 10. Now I'm going to get rid of the plus 10, so I'm going to take away 10 from both sides. 4 equals 2y. Now the opposite of timesing by 2 is to divide by 2. So 2 equals y. Or you can say y equals 2. Okay, last question for me to go through, and I'm going to give you some to have a try. Right, I'm going to do the opposite of taking away 2y, which is to add 2y. So I'm adding 2y to both sides. So 20 equals 3y plus 2. Now I'm going to do the opposite of adding 2, which is to take away 2 from both sides. So 18 equals 3y. Now the opposite of timesing by 3 is to divide by 3. So 6 equals y, or y equals 6. Okay, good listening. I'm hoping you've got those examples in your books. And now I'd like you to have a try at these 5 questions. So pause the video, have a go at these, and I'll go through the solutions one by one. Okay, first one. The first thing I'm going to do here is to divide both sides by -1. Remember, another way of looking at this is -1 times y. The opposite of timesing by -1 is to divide by -1. These will cancel, so y equals -6. Okay, here, inverse of timesing by -3 is to divide by -3. These will cancel, so y equals negative divided by negative is positive. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Okay, next one. First thing I'm going to do is get rid of the 7 by taking away 7 from both sides. So -4y equals 4. Then I'm going to divide both sides by -4. They will cancel, so y equals -1. Okay, question 4. Right, the first thing I'm going to do is to add y to both sides. So add y, add y. This will make these cancel. So 2y add 2 equals 8. Now take away 2 from both sides. 2y equals 6. Now divide both sides by 2. So 1y equals 3. These will cancel. Last one. Okay, I'm going to add 2y to both sides. I'll just write it down like this one for here. Different method, different way of showing your method. Add 2y, 6y plus 1 is 7. Now let's take away 1 from both sides. So 6y equals 6. Now divide both sides by 6. So y equals 1. Okay, so that's the end of the video, and here's your learning check for today. There are 6 questions. I don't set you many questions, so I know how difficult lockdown can be. and trying to do all this work at home on your own. But I'm really impressed with the work that I'm getting in. So just do your best, and I will support you and give you feedback when you send me your work. Okay, hope you have a lovely day. Bye bye. Miss you all.